news from away with your news anchors, Jimmy and Seamus O'Toole.
How's she going, my trout?
United States Ambassador to Canada, Paul Cellucci, has rebuked Canada for not supporting America's war against Iraq. Mr. Cellucci suggested it could affect trade between our countries. The Americans could slap duties on our softwood, put tariffs on our wheat, hurt our farmers by subsidizing their own, and subsidize Alaska in order to undermine development of Canadian Arctic natural gas. Wait a minute. They're doing that already.
Invading U.S. forces report that Iraqi soldiers are poorly equipped, inadequately fed, and understaffed. The American soldiers thought they were confronting Canada's military.
The U.S. and Britain continue to bomb Saddam Hussein's palaces in Baghdad. Rumors that the Middle East dictator is beginning to crack first started when this palace appeared on eBay. 22-bedroom palatial summer home recently converted to open concept. Exposed brick. Great view of city due to lack of walls.
Many television viewers are appalled by the disturbing images of war. Despite numerous complaints, however, CNN is refusing to take Wolf Blitzer off the air.
Well, there is one good thing about this war. Finally got rid of all the damn reality shows.
British Prime Minister Tony Blair made a surprising statement in the British Parliament today.
He did.
He did.
Tony Blair?
Yes, boy.
No.
Yes.
The British PM?
Yes, boy.
The skinny one sounds like Benny Hill. Wah, 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 wah.
That's more like, wah, wah.
I like Benny Hill.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
so
geez,
funny.
what do you know? It's Benny Hill,
The little guy with the bald head.
In other news, this week the U.S.-led invasion was marked by heated, emotional confrontation in North America.
Protesters and police in New York City.
Don Cherry and Ron McLean on Coach's Corner.
Did you see the two of them going at it?
Oh, geez, I'm not surprised Don Cherry supports the war.
Well, he's always condoned fighting.
Yeah, but there's one thing he will not tolerate.
What's that, Seamus?
The troops wearing visors.
Elsewhere, protesters from around the world continue to demonstrate against the war in Iraq. Here to discuss these rallies is our correspondent, Sheila Gripeworthy.
Protest marches today have become as popular as they once were in the 60s, and I can see why. It's a great way to get exercise and fresh air. You also get to meet a lot of eligible singles without the expense of a cover charge and $6 a beer. But long gone are the days of chants like 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say no to fighting war. Today the insults are more direct, like, screw you, Bush. Less wit, but more succinct. I've been able to secure some protest signs from around the world. Here's one I picked up from a picket scalper in France. Here's one I found in England. It's catchy, but it's not about George and Tony. It's about Laura and Sherry. I found this American picket that supports the war. And this one that opposes the war. But perhaps the most interesting protest sign of all came right here from this country. It captures the essence of being a protester in Canada. And now back to Jimmy and Seamus at the news desk.
And now, news that has nothing to do with the war. Elsewhere in the war, the music group the Dixie Chicks have been banned from many radio stations after they said they were ashamed George Bush was from the same state as them. In hopes of taking advantage of the opportunity, a new pro-American group has formed. The Dixie Dorks.
The Canadian Alliance and Ralph Klein have come out in support of the war. In response, Prime Minister Chrétien offered to have a fighter jet drop Stephen Harper and Ralph Klein on Baghdad. Now let's look at the stock market.
Oh, let's not.
Good idea. The subject of war has divided people's opinions. That's our subject on tonight's Point Counterpoint. The war in Iraq is justified.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, Seamus, you're supposed to take the opposite point of view. You go opposite, and then we have an informed and lively discussion.
All right, okay, all right. Well, start again.
Okay,
then. Start
here
again.
we go. The war in Iraq is justified.
The war in Iraq is wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's news from
Channel 10, your community cable station. Coming up now, Bronte Biddle Live.
Welcome. With the buildup of troops in the Middle East, the military is recruiting animals for special overseas operations. Joining me is Canadian military animal trainer, Mr. Arnold Nurk.
Oh, hello.
Mr. Nurk, I understand you have a fascinating story to tell.
Well, I was born in Moosevin, Saskatchewan. 6 pounds, 8 ounces. I'm a Pisces.
I was referring to your work with animals.
Oh. I train animals for military assignments. In fact, I recently taught a school of SEALs how to patrol harbors in the Persian Gulf. It's part of the shallow water intruder detection system.
SWIDs.
No thanks, I just ate.
Can you tell us specifically what the SEALs are trained to do, or is that a military secret?
No, it's not a secret. The SEALs, or as we with military training prefer to call them, aqua-based mammals, look for swimmers lurking near piers.
Wow, sounds like quite an operation.
Well, it hasn't been totally successful. It seems a Portuguese fishing trawler got a little too close to our training area.
What happened?
Let's just say they're introducing a new entree at Red Lobster. For the next week, I wouldn't recommend the seafood surprise.
Are you training other animals?
Yes, currently I'm developing an exploding dog.
Exploding dog?
Oh, you've heard of it. I'm teaching dogs to infiltrate hostile territory, befriend the enemy, and then explode.
Has this training been working out?
Not for the dogs.
What have you learned so far?
We go through a lot of dogs. I brought one along today.
Well, I'd sure love to see the little fella.
I'll call him. Come on, Chip. Come on in. Here, boy. Maybe a little later in the show.
My sources tell me you've been working with some sort of military bird.
Yes, that's true. We call it the stealth duck.
Stealth duck. Has that been successful?
Not entirely. We had a whole squadron trained. Then they migrated south for the winter, and we can't find them.
Because they're stealth ducks.
Correct.
So most of your work has been done with animals that swim or fly or explode.
Primarily, yes, but I have also developed a surveillance ant.
An ant that does military surveillance.
I call it a surveil ant. Get it? A surveil ant?
And what do these surveil ants do?
They surveil. Each ant has been carefully fitted with a custom-built ant cam. We use military transport planes to parachute the ants into enemy territory in the Persian Gulf area, and they videotape enemy movement.
And have you gathered a lot of intelligence?
No. A lot of the ants get stepped on. Or they happen upon a picnic.
Can be very distracting for an ant. Well, suppose the ants survive these dangers. How do you get the information they've taped?
They're also homing ants. So they walk back to NATO headquarters and report.
Well, how long does that usually take?
Well, given an average ant can walk roughly 9 or 10 meters in an hour, about 12 years.
So I guess one might say your system still has a few bugs.
Sorry?
Ant, few bugs.
Oh, right. It's very funny.
My guest has been Mr. Arnold Nurk. I'm Bronte Biddle. So long for now.
Hey, look, one of the surveillance is calling up the lake.
You are watching NKCNN, North Korean Cable Network News. The latest news as soon as we make it up. Stay tuned for President Kim Jong-il's State of the Nation address.
Greetings and welcome.
I am Mr. Kim, your lovable leader for life. Enough small talk. U.S. imperial dogs. War with Iraq. And Kim is very angry. Why are they ignoring North Korea? We are a much bigger threat. It is not fair. No, it is very unfair. We will not stand for it. Ladies and gentlemen, my Minister of Parks and Recreation. Please excuse me. I must return to the bunker and prepare sandwiches for the troops. Oh, I do not understand the American obsession with Saddam Hussein. I am a much wackier leader. Wacky? He's nuts. Kim is not afraid to strike right at America's heartland. Kim will send nuclear missile to Temptation Island. It is not a very good show. It should be nuked. What? My favorite show is Fear Factor. Shut up, you are a puppet. Oh, it is now time for Mr. Kim to go. Medication is starting to kick in. But before Kim go bye-bye, he leaves the United States with this stern warning. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way for Kim to go. U.S. bite my canary, 'cause my nuclear bombs will blow. How does he do it? How does he do it? You're amazing.
In times of great national stress, there is no one people would rather turn to than their member. Here is the member for Kicking Horse Pass, the Honorable David J. Broadfoot.
All across this country, anxieties are being expressed as never before. The good people of Kicking Horse Pass are expressing those very same anxieties. Listen to their questions. Mr. Member, I just read in the paper that wearing hip-hugger jeans can cause a burning sensation in the groin area. I'm 20-year-old female. I'm 5'7" tall. I weigh 119 pounds. I have normal hips. Do you think the burning problem could be contagious? I certainly do. I've never even met this young woman, and my groin area is burning already. Mr. Member, who would you prefer to be trapped in a room with, a murderer or a Jehovah's Witness? A murderer. A murderer will only bother you once. Mr. Member, what I want to know is, why are so many cars being stolen these days? Why are so many cars being stolen? I believe that's because it's quicker than getting a taxi. Dear sir, the church is putting a lot of effort into fighting homosexuality and abortion. Is this a good investment of time? No, homosexuals don't use abortion. Here's a tough one. Mr. Member, something that puzzles me, everyone agrees on the importance of elections, but fewer and fewer people are voting. How come? I did a survey on this very question. What I discovered is that when you have fewer people voting, it's because not as many people are going to the polls. Here's another important question. Mr. Member, with your religious background, I'm sure you'll know the answer. Is it wrong to be making love just before taking communion? No, it's not wrong, as long as you don't block the aisle. Mr. Member, what do you see as the basic difference in the attitudes of Canadians and Americans? Well, in Canada, we have a full health care system. In the U.S., the health care system is called Just Say No to Infection. I've seen an American medical bracelet, and it said, if I'm unconscious, please administer my insulin. I've seen a Canadian bracelet that said, if I'm unconscious, it's okay, I'm drunk. But the big difference is Americans don't mind spending trillions of dollars on bombs, megaton bombs, cluster bombs, Moab bombs, smart bombs, really stupid bombs, when they know what they should be doing is asking their enemies to stand closer together. On the other hand, Canadians don't mind the government spending money to buy more bombs, but only if the bombs are to be used in a peaceful, constructive way.
Bus is late, huh?
Yes, I guess so.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's a conspiracy, you know.
Sorry?
Conspiracy by the media lemming masters. Yeah, they make the bus late so you have more time to read the state-controlled propaganda pages. Or it's also called The Sun.
What are you talking about?
It's all a conspiracy. The late buses, the newspapers, the psychological helicopters flying overhead controlling your minds.
There are no helicopters.
Yeah, that's what they'd like you to think. They're all right. The Federal Reserve Bank in the States there? It's not a real bank, you know. You know that, huh? Did you?
Yes, I am aware of that.
It's been run for hundreds of years by 5 wealthy families. The Rothschilds, the Morgans, the Oprah Winfreys.
Don't you have to be somewhere?
Yeah, but not where they want me to be. No way am I going to be a slave to the New World Order, eh? Did you know that Tony Blair got $7 billion from the Bush crime family deposited into his bank account in the United Arab Emirates? Yeah, it's a fact. A real fact, not a fake fact, like you get from the state-controlled media. They don't want you to know the real truth, like the Vatican is behind the war against Korea. Deborah Gray is getting out of politics so she can go into exotic dancing. Laura Bush and Saddam Hussein are sisters. Osama bin Laden is not dead. Not dead, no. He's working at the Petrocan station down the street.
You know, I am not in the mood for this nonsense.
Yeah, fine, no problem. I capiche. You know, I understand why you wouldn't want to know about the DNA experiments.
DNA experiments?
They're using a particle accelerator to alter DNA and create a super soldier. They've already created hundreds of them. It's a fact. They're stored in a secret base in Antarctica. Did you know that? Did you? What do you think of that?
You still live in your parents' basement, don't you?
Well, yeah. But I buy my own chips and pop.
Have you ever considered the possibility there's one conspiracy you've overlooked?
A new conspiracy? What is it? What is it?
Reality. You should check it out sometime.
So you're part of it too! I knew it!
CPAC, the cable channel for people who've fallen asleep in front of their television. Now, the Progressive Conservative Party show.
Hello, fellow Canadians. I am Joe Clark, leader of the Progressive Conservative Party of Canada. As you know, the party leadership convention is coming up. It's set for June 1st in my basement. We're serving a cheese platter and everything. Right now, I would like to personally introduce you to the candidates. First, let's welcome Scott Bryson. Hello, Scott. Wow. You're one good-looking guy. I could go for you myself if I wasn't already a married husband. Scott is a man who is all about power. He has seen Lord of the Rings 5 times. Looks a little bit like Frodo, too. Look, here comes PC leadership hopeful Peter MacKay. Nice to see you, Peter. Peter was born in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, and to this very day, as you can see, he still gets his hair cut there. So now let's see. Here we have another candidate. It's, Paul Martin. How did he get in there? This guy's everywhere. So let's see. There must be. Oh, yes. Now, here is a real candidate, Jim Prentice. His slogan, Canada deserves better. I agree. Canada deserves a lot better. All right, this brings us to, So that brings us to this guy. Jeepers, he looks older than me. Anyway, Hubert Grafty is a true progressive conservative, progressive and compassionate in social policies while being creative and conservative in economical fiscal policies. Or to put that in simpler terms, he is a big, fat loser. So that brings us to our next dynamic leadership candidate. 52-year-old David Orchard. David has been an organic farmer for 27 years, so he is perfect for PC leader. He's been shoveling it most of his life. Also running, we have Andre Bachand. I don't think so. So there you have it. Just one of these highly capable, experienced individuals will be leading. Sheets, this is the best we can do. I may as well stay on. Yes, indeed, Joe Clark, PC leader for life. Life is good. Yes, indeed. So.